Hello and welcome to week 9. As I've stated here, one of my favorite classes to teach is a course called Personality Theory. In this chapter, you'll be getting an introduction to the content that I cover in that class in more detail. The study of personality really, to me, is about how do we describe and understand and explain the things that make us human. And what does it mean to live life well? What kind of traits do we associate with health? What kind of traits do we associate with a lack of health or greater disorganization? All of that goes into what it is that we call personality. In addition, we need to understand, how does personality develop? How do people get to be different from one another? So in this chapter, you're going to be exploring a bunch of different theories, because that's how personality theory as a field evolved, was different thinkers over the course of the history of early psychology, and more recently, just sort of plugging away and creating a description of what is it that's common to all people, how does personality from that common base develop, and how can you describe the individual differences that people have learned through the course of their development. Now, this is a longer chapter, so make sure that you keep that in mind. We have 4 broad areas of learning outcomes. In the first set of learning outcomes, we'll be talking about psychoanalytic or psychodynamic theory, starting with Freud and some of his successors. In the second area, we'll be talking about humanistic theories, including Abraham Maslow and Carl Rogers. In the third section, we'll be talking about social cognitive approaches, including Bandura and Rotter. And in the fourth section, this isn't so much a broad theory that's assigned to one particular theorist. There are several, but these are the trait theories. Many of the people who contributed theory in this area really were psychometricians, meaning they were measurement specialists, rather than broad personality theorists who talked about development and such. The trait theories are really about describing what kind of traits make up individuals and can characterize their functioning. In some ways, these are also used to do diagnostic work as well. Your task this week, as usual, you need to read your chapter. So read chapter 8 and produce your annotations. Watch your chapter 8 videos and complete your chapter 8 quiz. For your Rader Foundation's portfolio paper, as part of the Psychology in the News project, you need to revise and resubmit your paper. As I state here, make sure you look at the feedback uploaded to the Dropbox before you revise. I provide feedback in 2 ways. On the rubric, which are broad comments, but then also on the document. When I grade your paper, I open it in Word and I make comments that are both editorial and content-based, and I type literally in that document. You need to look at the document that I upload. If you can't figure out how to do that, or you can't see it, make sure that you reach out to me. Do not revise before you look at that feedback. And that's my overview of week 9.